the middle of a match, and that's what Texas has been forced to do tonight against a Penn State team that has beaten them 25-13 in the first 2 sets, and the Longhorns respond out of the locker room with the first point of the third.
Robertson, a big kill there. Texas not getting the pass it wanted, just scrambling to get the ball in the air. Good play by Robertson to get her feet to the ball.
The long road back for the Longhorns. They will have to take 3 straight sets from the 3-time champs. They cover the tip from Blair Brown. Fawcett stuffed on the tight set. Back to Julianne. Got it by the block for the kill.
Well, Penn State was not very clean, and Coach Rose is not happy. McClendon with the overpass, and then Blair Brown also with the overpass. They have to keep it clean. No margin for error. You don't want to let that sleeping dog wake up in Texas. And that'll do it.
There you go from Deja McClendon. You know, they did go up 2-0 in the region final against Duke and then fell asleep on the Blue Devils in the third, and Duke took one from them, the only set they've lost in the postseason.
Yep, the only team to have not lost any sets coming up in the second semifinal. Cal.
They'll take on USC in their second semi. The Bears looking for their first championship. USC looking for its third of the decade.
In the Texas lineup, and serving is Hannah Allison.
Carly Lloyd leading the way for the Bears, along with Tara Murray. They've got a couple of All-Americans, and Alex Jupiter and Fallon Fanoy Moana highlighting that Southern Cal lineup.
Good chase by Fawcett.
Carpenter to Brown. Into the net for Slay. So Fawcett's hustle gets Texas a point.
And that's going to send a signal to her team. We are not giving up. I don't care what the score is. We've got to play every single point, because if they don't play every point its hardest now.
They had a 5-4 record to start out the season, and since then they've run off 19 in a row. Robertson out of the back. Another chance for Texas. Another net violation against Texas. That's the 4th of the night.
That time we saw Texas using their backup setter, Hannah Allison, as a serving sub for their main setter, and she did set several plays in the midst of that long rally.
Another tough serve from Dorico. Another net violation on Texas. Jared Elliott, the entire coaching staff up off the bench for Texas.
Wow. They're saying the ball was not in a position to be touched. They're saying that play right there, Wilson went over the net to get the ball. It's the referee's call. It looked like it might have just broken the plane. As soon as there's a millimeter of the ball.
Because she contacted below the net. The ball into the blocker and we play on. Okay. Yeah. What's the call? The ball's in place. She stayed below the head of the net. No back, no block, no nothing. Did she touch it? Oh, it's okay for her to touch it.
They're explaining it to Julianne Fawcett.
Texas was very upset, felt that the ball did not cross any part of it across the plane of the net. Referee ruled it did.
And another early timeout for Texas to try and regroup. They're up here in the third, 4-3. Penn State has taken the first 2 sets. If they win the third, they will play for the national championship on Saturday. Texas trying to start the long road back. Now let's take a look at our perfect play presented by Reese's.
And watch Julianne Fawcett, number 1, hits the floor, so she's not a hitter. Great read. She's out of the offense. Great read by the Penn State blockers. They know the only place the ball can go is to Rachel Williams, number 5 orange there. 3 people up on the block. Easy block to the floor for the point.
For Penn State, how about that advantage at the net for Brown and Wilson and Katie Slay? They're using their size to their advantage and their athleticism really to get pin to pin, and the ace for Penn State. That is their 6th of the match. Check that, 5th, 6th.
It is 6th, and 0 for Texas on the other side of the net. Dorica going with the off speed and then cracking that one, but into the net.
Back to serve for the Longhorns is Julianne Fawcett.
Julianne Fawcett back to serve. The senior who has been so good throughout the second half of the season, even better in the NCAA tournament for Texas. She's really carried them, and even though she has the air of their cards, you could really make a strong case for her to be the best player in the country since the middle of October.
In one of the strongest conferences, Big 12 Player of the Year, led her team, willed her team through all of those injuries to the point where they're again in the hunt for a title.
Robertson beats the block, point Texas. She's got 6 kills. Sarah Palmer, their freshman libero. They wear the dark-colored jerseys. They cannot attack. They can only defend and serve. Like Dorica right there for Penn State.
Not a great choice by Robertson to hit at Wilson, number 7, who's 6'3" middle blocker, instead of your 5'6" outside blocker, number 5, Kristen Carpenter. Got to go at the smaller blocker, and of course you also want to hit deep, hit high and deep.
Fawcett crushes that one, point Texas.
That's a good play by Texas because they get Fawcett a one-on-one situation. It's unlikely that the small blocker Carpenter will help out on that. Still, Quilico almost came up with the ball.
She and Jen Doris, the 2 seniors, the winningest class in Texas history. They've been to the semis, they've been to the finals, and now they want to bring home the trophy.
And they put themselves in a position that they're going to have to do it in epic fashion, coming down from a 2-0 deficit, back from a 2-0 deficit.
It's only happened one time in 30 years in the national semis, and unfortunately for Texas, they were on the losing end of it 2 years ago when Stanford rallied to beat them.
And of course, last year in the finals, the same thing happened against this same Penn State team.
8-7 Texas here in the 3rd. McClendon.
Now McClendon ends up with a better matchup. She's hitting against Michelle Coker at the net, and the high jump of McClendon gives her a big advantage going up and over Coker.
She is playing more and more with the same attitude that Megan Hodge displayed over her 4-year career as they get their 7th ace of the match and take the lead. Texas doesn't have one yet.
Not a great set. Lucky play for Texas that Penn State netted on that, because there was really no place for Doris to go. Low, behind her, big break for Texas.
Right at 9. McClendon. Good defense by McNeil. Fawcett into the block. Double contact called on Texas, point Penn State.
Not the prettiest rally of the night. There were probably about 3 other plays that could have been called a mishandled ball. Finally, the 4th one, the referee blows dead. Coach Elliott still concerned, wants to get his team going offensively here.
3 freshmen on the floor now for Penn State. Allie Longo on to serve. Digs it up. Back set, Blair Brown off the tips. Here comes Fawcett. No!
And that's why freshman Katie Slay is in the game, because she's a very strong blocker for using her full 6'6" frame to her advantage there.
Nowhere to go for Fawcett, up against 6'6" and 6'5" at a net that's a little over 7 feet tall.
And that time, Penn State, we saw them working on that some yesterday in practice, getting 3 blockers up if it's a broken play. But Fawcett doing a nice job of negotiating through those 3 pairs of hands.
10 kills now for Julianne. Carpenter, tough pass from Longo. Point, Texas. Allison on to serve. Back to Blair Brown. Dug up by Allison. She's back in as the setter. Ariel Scott. Texas able to keep it alive. Woo. Big swing out of the back.
Now that's the kind of play that can get Texas going. Robertson coming up huge there out of the back row. Penn State didn't even think she could take a swing on that ball, and she just sent a scud over the net.
That gets Texas the lead at 12-11. Brown responds down the line. Mario Wilson back into the middle for Penn State. Here comes DeRico with that big serve. Off speed on that one. Fawcett tools the block. Point, Texas.
Texas switching it up a little. Fawcett usually doesn't attack in the middle of the court. We call that kind of a combination play or a play set, and she gets the ball off the block and out of bounds.
Longo struggling to pass right now in the back, and Texas will get the free ball. Coker. Oh, Blair Brown able to sneak that one into the block.
And Texas middle blocker Rachel Adams very unhappy. Brown had essentially no chance to put that away, except the blockers for Texas did not get their hands across the net.
Texas might need to get Rachel Adams going. Just 2 kills so far in the match. Carpenter, 3rd time she's scored on the dump.
And it starts with the pass from Wilson. She puts it right on the money, and then she can go be a hitter. Texas blockers have a lot to worry about, and they forget about the setter Carpenter.
She's got more kills than Rachel Adams does right now. And the 8th ace of the match for the Nittany Lions.
8-0, the aggressive serving of Penn State, paying off big time, getting Texas out of its offense. They can't run their middle attack. That's where they have a big advantage.
That's the 3rd one for Brown. And the block gets Penn State another point. 16-3.
And you could see Coach Elliott on the sideline talking to her setter, his setter. He wants Coker to get the ball, if it's a good pass, to Adams a little more. Like that, but one-on-one, and she doesn't win the battle.
Wilson was able to slow it down. Brown. Penn State with its biggest lead of the set. Timeout, Texas. The 3-time defending champs have the Longhorns on the ropes. Julianne Fawcett will try and have to figure out a way to get her team back into it. A 2-0 lead for Penn State. They are up here in the 3rd, trying to close out this national semifinal. For Penn State, 3 consecutive titles, a record 22 straight postseason wins.
And with the loss of all those All-Americans, Coach Rose said, I went from not having to worry about anything to having to worry about everything. Now he gets a headache after every match, but somehow they fought to the point where they're in an unbelievable position to get to the NCAA final and win a 4th title in a row.
They have lost 4 All-Americans in the last 2 years. All of them, by the way, currently with the U.S. national team. And Wes Rose likes to tell us about it. Usually I used to be able to look across the net and there wouldn't be anybody over there that could start for us. Now there's quite a few over there.
Like Rachel Adams, who's the human highlight film in the first 4 rounds of the NCAA tournament, but had very little success tonight until that one, bouncing it off the ground and off Blair Brown's face. There's one of those plays where Ariel Wilson just had to correct for a poorly placed set.
She wants it
Another
again.
one.
Yep. 3 blockers waiting, and Robertson tried to cut it and too much into the net.
And so when you see Ariel Wilson, number 7 in white for Penn State, working so hard to try to keep the ball in place, she makes good decisions. It's hurt her ability to be effective. Last year, she led the nation hitting .540. This year, with an untested or a rookie setter, she's hitting .425. Still very effective, but it's dropped a lot.
Deja McClendon. Texas has had no answer. 10 kills without an error in the biggest match of her career.
And playing opposite her, Ariel Scott with 9 kills. They have not had both freshmen on the left side clicking at the same time until today.
Back to McClendon, and not the delivery that Carpenter wanted. Fawcett trying to fend off the end of her career. 4 kills here in the third.
And she's about to get up to the front row. It is going to be now or never. There's a well-placed set, and Wilson can do something with that. We saw her correcting for the mistake the previous 2 swings. That time, Carpenter, I like the fact that she keeps going back and tries to make it work.
Penn State now 5 points away from the match. And Maddie Martin, who had an ace the last time she came on to serve, hammers that one. Gets Penn State the free ball. Carpenter stuffed. Robertson read that one well. Well, the FCS Football Championship continues on Friday night with semifinal action. Defending champ Villanova taking on Eastern Washington on ESPN2 at 8 Eastern. Go to NCAA.com for more info. It's the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships.
So Fawcett comes to the net. 2 freshmen at the net for Penn State. This should be a time, if there was ever a time for Texas to make a move, it's now.
And they get the point with Jen Doris. Katie Slay actually intercepted that set that was headed for McClendon.
Exactly, misconnection there, took it right out of the air.
Wow.
Well, we talked about what an advantage Texas had. That is not the time to serve out with those 2 freshmen. Slay is not known for her offense. She's known for her defense, her blocking.
Coker. Well, if you're Texas, you got to give Fawcett every swing she wants right now.
She's worked hard this season to learn some different shots. That's an example, hitting high into the corner, nobody within 10 feet of that ball. Well placed.
One of the best players in Texas history, trying to keep her championship hopes alive. McClendon rips another one.
Good mismatch for Penn State there. McClendon jumping high, hitting over Coker. That's what a setter has to look for. Where do I have the advantage in my offense? Ooh.
Long from McClendon.
Give Fawcett a lot of credit on that. That was left way inside, and she still somehow got there. And you can see her talking to her teammates. Come on, get on my shoulders. Let's go. I'm going to try and get you a block, get you a kill. Got to slow Penn State down if they want to make it go a 4th.
Brown with the kill. 2 points away from the sweep.
And now Penn State with their 2 senior leaders, their 2 front row senior leaders at the net. They've got to be happy about this particular lineup with just a couple of points needed.
Fawcett gets the kill.
Brown was all over that, but didn't turn her right hand in. She's mad at herself, would love that one back. She was in the perfect position.
Carpenter to Brown, but sent back over by Texas. Point Longhorns.
Well, nice save by Carpenter. Coach Rose thinking about a timeout here. Yep, he wants to give his team some time to make a good pass that they can set, get a good swing.
Down by as many as 5 here in the third set. It's a 2-point set now. The winner moves on to the championship on Saturday night. Coming up next, the all Pac-10 semi, Southern California and the Cal Bears. And set to go about 30 minutes after the conclusion of our first semifinal. Beth Mullins along with 3-time national champion Karch Karai. And Karch, a wild NCAA tournament that has seen the top 3 seeds sent home early, and now a 4-seed Penn State, who everybody's been talking about all year long as they can't be as good as they have been. They're wounded, they're vulnerable, and yet here they are on the verge of heading back to the final. Even
though they're the highest seed, a lot of people had them as the greatest underdog out of the 4 teams in this NCAA semifinal round. But they're 2 points away from winning, and they have Blair Brown and Ariel Wilson, their 2 senior leaders, their net players, at the net ready to take care of business. They have the advantage 2-0 over Texas, and what a job the freshmen have done here tonight. Let's look at Deja McClendon, still without an error in the match. Yeah, she has been good in every department. We saw her come up with a big dig recently, blocking, hitting, controlling on offense. Before this year, phenomenal. She had never played all the way around. She had never played backcourt and front court, and now she's passing well. That's why she is one of the leading contenders for Freshman of the Year and the national awards. And that right there, you don't replace 2 of your best players in history, Alicia Scott and Megan Hodge, but look at those numbers. They'll go a long way towards helping them advance to the championship if they can hang on here in the third. Fawcett serving. And they're passing as usual with just 2. McClendon, the freshman, and Dorico, the senior. Expect the ball to go to McClendon? No, that's a mistake. Perfect pass. And that's why Penn State gets the kill. Match point for the 3-time defending champs. Long. No, the touch for Texas Point Longhorns. 2 more match points. Texas wants to keep the ball away from Dorico. She's the best passer in the different colored jersey. Scott. Fitting that a freshman ends it for Penn State, and a stunning sweep of Texas to advance to the national championship match and an opportunity to play for a 4th consecutive title. And this group of seniors has still never lost a final match of the season. 23 NCAA wins in a row now, upping their record by 1. A remarkable run continues for Penn State. Quite frankly, in devastating fashion tonight.